Hello and welcome to the Friday My Amazon Guy. Ask me any question about selling on Amazon. My name is Stephen Pope and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. It's my pleasure to answer your questions. I am a little bit under the weather today. So if you want to get your question answered today, please consider becoming a member. I probably will not get to even half of the future member questions. Unfortunately, my voice will just not allow me to do that today. And I'm going to prioritize stickers, then member questions, and then future member questions because you're not non-members. You're just future members. All right, let's jump right in. So we'll go to Ruben here. We had a general account where the customer's brand was registered. Now we like to transfer the brand registry to the owner. What is the more effective way to do it? Transfer or remove and register? This is a really great question. Transferring brand registry is some of the most complicated painful processes I've ever experienced while trying to sell on Amazon. So the answer to your question, Ruben, in my opinion, simply remove it. Just unenroll it and then let the new guy on his own account enroll it. The one question I have about this, though, is what happens to the A+ content when you unenroll it? And there could be a problem with that. I don't actually know. I've never actually ran through the motions there. I just know that brand registry transfer is so freaking painful. It's way better to just unenroll and send it over. But I actually haven't done it yet. So I don't know if the A+ content like mysteriously disappears when that happens. So you may want to back everything up before you do this procedure, just in case. I have transferred probably 6 or 7 brand registries over the last couple of years, and the process is just monotonous. It's like not worth your time. You'd be way better off backing everything up and then doing a clean sweep. And we have done unenrollment for brand registries before, like when we're trying to do a brand registry change. And if any of you guys need to do a brand change, we have a really great service for that. And it's $1,000 and we can switch any number of brand names over for you. It is pretty complex to do. And Saban from our coaching staff heads this program up. I'll just share my screen to kind of just show like how we do that real briefly here. So over here, this is the service page we have. We can change up to 10 ASINs for $1,000. If you can't afford that because it is super expensive, you can always hire us for a coaching session. I recommend Saban when it comes to brand name changes specifically. Ali, a little bit more affordable option. We added him in because Saban's calendar is chock full, very, very full for him. All right, so let's go to the next question here, coming in from Ruben again. What is a platinum keyword and when to use them? So platinum keywords don't actually exist. This is just a UI thing that's historically stayed over from when it used to exist. And I think this didn't actually have any use as of 10 years ago. I think it's been 10 years. So when you first started out, there were like platinum accounts that got special privileges. Amazon rolls out new programs all the time, and then they also disable programs all the time. And this is just a great example of how like a feature got programmed so hardcore into the UI that like it never went away. Most Seller Central portals don't actually see this, though. There might be some isolated cases where you still do, depending on the age of your account. And you might see it in a template file here and there. But by and large, there's zero value, right? So like I test every field. I've tested this. There is zero value. Nothing comes out of it. So safely ignore it. Don't worry about it. Not helping you in any shape or form. The search term field. Also, I was talking. So I have an insider at one of the most important keyword tools in the market. You could probably guess which one. Told me that Amazon told them that they were going to get rid of the search term field. And obviously they haven't done that. Instead of getting rid of the search term field, they got rid of the intent to use and target audiences and all that stuff. And I believe the search term field is here to stay. I think that's gonna be around here. Trent, hey, I give a big shout out here to Trent. He's got he owns Flowster and a bunch of other cool stuff. And as you can see from his little picture here, he's in one of the fastest growing companies on the market. So Trent asks, coming in from LinkedIn here, wondering what made you choose Fridays for these events. Have you split tested attendance versus other days of the week? I bet you I would have the same attendance no matter which day we posted it, but I had lighter attendance on my own calendar on Fridays. And that's why I chose Fridays. I just wanted a way to get it off my, so I didn't have as many distractions when I did. So it was a personal choice on this one, Trent. I think that Monday would be the weakest day if we had it, and Tuesday would probably be my next strongest. And I haven't tested it on Wednesdays or Thursdays. We do lots of PPC AMAs Tuesday through Thursday though. And I'm never going to move it just because we've got the brand equity built in. We've done it, I don't know, maybe like 55 times on Friday, something crazy high like that. Probably never remove it. Probably stay here permanently. Okay, so let's go to, we got Olin. Thanks for becoming a member of the channel today. Welcome to the crew. Welcome to the My Amazon Guy family. And I think that's all the stickers in queue. So I'll start answering member questions. If you guys want to jump the queue, feel free to do a sticker. Olin says, hey, Stephen, long-time listener, first time asking a question. Figured it was time. Well, welcome. Olin, you're no longer a lurker. We have a medical device product that I've convinced is being tampered with by a competitor. It's always the Chinese. Overnight, the past few days this week, it's getting moved into a new category, which is causing us loss of our top seller badge. I don't think it's actually a competitor doing this. It's probably just the Amazon bots. Category changes are extremely common, robotic, and automatic, depending on how the keywords are used by the consumers that buy your products. Every morning I contact support to have it moved, but it keeps happening each night. Any advice? Is it possible that a competitor is doing this? Yeah, non-zero chance it's possible. I think it's more than likely 95% chance this is the Amazon robots doing this. And so, Olin, have you filed a brand registry ticket to try and get it to stay and file the brand registry ticket to change the category? Very easy to do this. Actually, I had to do this the other day for my own smudge sticks. So what happened was I keep getting these stupid unauthorized sellers, which is probably how my category got changed. So maybe that happened to you too. And it's always cool to share like my own stories because like I'm in the weeds with you guys on my own products and I get frustrated by the same things. Anyway, so we hit 302 reviews on this. Very, very successful launch. But I keep getting unauthorized sellers showing up from new sellers that have no idea how to operate Amazon. And they're showing up and like trying to undercut me on price. And so like I'm super struggling to like get them all removed. Currently, as of this morning, they're all gone. But by tomorrow, there might be another one. And we're not the cheapest product. I mean, you can see like right here, $1 cheaper to get a 3-pack from the next guy, right? So we play a little bit with that, but the difference is mine comes with like this cool box and a guide and instructions and stuff. Anyway, long story short on the unauthorized seller category change. So let's see if we can find the category here. Sometimes they show it at the bottom of the detail page. Sometimes they don't. Let's see if it's showing. Usually down in this section, I believe. So in here we have no cat. Okay, here we go. Yeah, seller's rank. So I'm ranked number 104 in incense, 26,000 in home and kitchen, which is a really nice BSR. And so what happened was it moved out of incense and it moved into beauty. And I was terrified, right? Because if it's in beauty, then I have to like have a COA and all kinds of things happen. So I actually got the category changed back in like less than 4 hours. Thank God I had Helium 10 alerts set up because if I didn't, I wouldn't have even known, right? It just like would have happened. And then one day Amazon would be like, hey, we need your ingredients list. You're selling a beauty product and you didn't clear topicals or whatever, right? And by the way, we do have, I do shell out for Helium 10 because they have a really great product. You can get 50% off your first month. I'm going to put this in the chat here if you guys want to check that out. If you haven't enrolled in Helium 10, you really need to. It's way better than any other keyword tool on the market right now. So highly recommend it. All right, so let's go to the other member questions in the queue here. Old Hickory, first in line. What are the best ways these days to getting third-party sellers off your listing? Is it contacting them through Amazon or no-go? I did not read this question before I just gave my explanation. So ironically, we're walking right into this. The best way is brand registry trademark infringement tickets. And you often, wow, I can't speak, often will have to do a test order buy as well to get them removed. I had to do that for one of my unauthorized sellers. In fact, no, I didn't keep it on my desk behind me. I have it in my room, the other room probably. So they arrived yesterday, and then I contacted the seller from my personal account and said, "Hey, you're selling a counterfeit good. Where's the box? Right? You didn't even send a box that have my ASIN branded on it." And I said, "You need to take this down. I'm reporting you to Amazon." And then within an hour, they took it down. Right? So sometimes it takes some seller motivation from the buyer side. And so if you buy the product and then report it after purchasing it, you'll get some really fast action from Amazon very, very frequently. Ruben, you're just lighting us up with stickers today. I appreciate it. Follow up. Thank you. Though so well to remove and register. We don't have any A+ content yet, so it should be good. Yeah, then I would definitely say just delete and relist it. And by the way, I didn't even know you could delete brand registry until like 2 months ago. So that was like news to me. My catalog troubleshooting team like just figured out how to do that one day. And when we were trying to do like brand name changes, and they're like, yeah, you could remove a brand registry. Now, like, I didn't even know. Like, so I learned something every day. So that's great. And always thought that was a green screen behind. No, these objects behind me right here. No, they're totally legitimate. Right. So here, I'm touching everything so you can see it. So it's real. I got this Mexican Coke up here. I don't know how well you can hear me when I go behind my desk over there, but yeah, that's all completely legitimate stuff. And it's there is a little bit of personalization behind me, right? So like, although the green eyes image that my 4-year-old son made me does make me have a pretty good kick every time I get on a call with a potential client, prospect, or an actual client. I get the most comments about the green eyes drawing of me. And I had to tell my son I don't actually have green eyes. I have brown. That was very fun. But yeah, I keep the Mexican Coke up there and a couple of fun things. I have a Utah license plate and some. So there's actually real checks. So right where my finger is, those are real checks from when we hit our $100,000, $200,000 per month revenue targets. I've since stopped counting or keeping checks, but it's fun. It's fun to grow companies. Let's go with that. All right. So Frederick Raffle. Cool. Follow up on Ruben's mom and says, Ruben, I've unenrolled a brand and A+ content keeps showing somehow. Might be a glitch. I'm in the process of changing the brand name. So yeah, I mean, brand registry in general is just like a giant litany of bugs. It's amazing. Like, it's not even out of beta yet. Like, Amazon, get your act together. It's brand registry. Crying out loud. It's like the most important thing people need. All right. Old Hickory, going back to the top here of the queue for targeting keywords. How to decide between words, I think it's you saying that you think will convert lesser search volume, 500 to 1,000, or words with much larger search volume, but more general. So I think what you're asking is like, should you go for high target value or lower target, or how to choose between those targeting? So I'd go for a mix, right? Like when I launched my mom box, made $144,000 in 3 weeks with 11,000 in ad spend. I spent $5,000 of that ad spend on one broad match keyword, gifts from mom, and that paid off. I indexed for more than 3,500 keywords in less than 3 weeks. Like, it's my best launch I've ever done. Very hard to replicate. And I went for the bigger ones, and it paid off. I ended up getting organic rank #1 for gifts from mom during the week of Mother's Day, right? Like, that's insane. Obviously not in position one now. Otherwise, I'd be making millions more than I do currently. But in any case, I think you need a mixed approach to a question like this. You should absolutely be targeting both high volume and low volume keywords, because if you win the big volume, you're winning the lottery. But realistically, you're probably more likely to win the lesser value ones. So do a mix on that. Abdallah says, in the launch phase, should I put a single and plural of the word in search term if the word is important? Generally not needed. However, in the search term field, I feel strongly that exact match on a product launch is highly advisable. So if you know one is more important than the other because it has higher volume, I would use that version of it. Additionally, there are some weird words where it's not just like adding an S to it to make it plural. And in those instances, I would use both. But if it's just like an S or an ED, the Amazon help files are very clear that they don't add additional value. They're superfluous. Don't need them. If you remember the question about the Korean keyword PPC, are there any ways to target those keywords like auto campaign, the negate and English niche keyword in the phrase match? For those of you that didn't watch the PPC AMA, very good AMA. And we brought in sponsored profits. Daryl was answering this question with me live, and we actually demoed that you can add Korean keywords into the campaign, but you can't hit the save button, so it can't actually target them. And we learned that live together. So if you're ever wondering if I learn things, yes, every single time I do one of these sessions, I learn something new about selling on Amazon. It's like adding a page to my encyclopedia of Amazon knowledge. So nobody knows the answer to this question as far as I know. There's no way to target Korean or Chinese characters as far as we know. Outside of PickFu, any good ways to test out different product designs or labels with customers? Honestly, I don't know why you would look for an alternative. I like there are so few services I shell out for, and I don't make money on PickFu. I freaking just love the product, and you should definitely check it out. We've run more than 2,000 tests as a company, and many of those are inside of PickFu specifically. And I've just found that it's the fastest way to get an answer to any question. The other thing I've done is I've used my own internal Slack channels to run A/B tests, and it's kind of fun sometimes. Like real true story. My IT manager built out a ticketing system, and I gave it my first pass through, and I said, Mr. IT manager, this UI is not my favorite. And I got a little bit of resistance, and he's like, but I really need this information in the ticketing system. And I said, well, okay, tell you what, let's test my version, which has like a really simplified look to it and like 1 or 2 words versus your 4 sentences version. And let's see what people say. So we run a Slack PickFu test, if you will, in our own community, 24-1. So it was very obvious that simplifying ticketing processes makes sense. So unless you have a really good community of Amazon sellers to run your own informal tests, you have to be able to get like what does the consumer want to do right now. If you don't feel confident you can run your own PickFu test, we do have this service. We'll run the PickFu for you for $250, or if you want a coaching session with me included, 15 minutes where I'll talk you through why we run the PickFu test that way. We have a service for that. You can also go to pickfu.com/myamazonguy to get 50% off if you want to run it solo. All right, let's go to our next sticker here. We got Sam coming in. Thank you for the donation. Products that don't picture well, can I use competitor-generated images of packaging as an image, even if the customer doesn't receive it in that packaging? So Sam, I'm an entrepreneur. I also like to bootstrap it, just like you, because you clearly you're bootstrapping it with a question like this. You just have some risks involved with something like this. So if you have an Alibaba product and their Alibaba generated images already all over the internet, I would say pretty safe to use those. But if you're going to take somebody's Amazon listing images and try and repurpose them, I'd probably say bad idea. Because there's copyright infringement issues. There's also ethical questions as well. But I would say that I don't recommend it. I think that it's super cheap to buy photos to get your own taken, and it's totally worthwhile because having your own images gives you a very big leg up. One of the companies I recommend is Fast Photography Services, and if you use the link in the chat here, or if you can't find that link, go to services, other services, photos. And this company here pays me an affiliate deal anytime somebody places an order. We've never had a single complaint with somebody using this service, and they give you fast photography. And it's generally like, I think it's like $40 a photo, like worst case scenario. So like definitely invest in your own photos. I think it behooves you. If you're using something that's used at the manufacturing level and you're selling the same product as your competitor, that's when I would say it's like probably okay. But if you're just using something that somebody else has generated on Amazon, the risks are just really, really high. So I don't generally recommend it. So we're going to go back to the top of the queue here. Let's go down to Jeff's question. Had a coaching call with Ali. His suggestions worked great. Thank you. Hey, really glad to get that feedback. We'll add that to our testimonial page. Thank you, Jeff. I've heard that Amazon has refrigerated FBA storage. How can I get this for probiotics? I've had 2 clients that have ever had access to the refrigerated Amazon Fresh, I think is what it's called. And I'm not an expert on this particular question. Piranha is another Amazon agency that specializes in grocery, and that's the guy I would ask. Really nice guy, name's Jed, is the owner of the company. We always have like friendly banter back and forth. I would ask him this question. So maybe somebody could tag Jed and say, hey, come answer this question over on Steven's channel. John Villas, when you do the show notes, please tag him and ask him to do that as well. We'll see if we can get you an answer. All right, Sam, coming back for another one. I'll be using my own images. I can't photograph the product because it's so blank image of a piece of paper. I'm trying to visualize this one. This is a very visual question. Do you want to link me to something, or if you feel safe to do that, Sam? You don't have to, obviously, but if you do, it can be helpful. Because it's so blank, imagine a piece of paper. So if you're, like, can you add color in it? Like, is it a product that, like, you could put something in it that would show the lifestyle or a person or something that the product does? Because that's how you would make the product image better, and add some color or some flexibility to it. But if you can't take a photo of the product, this is a super weird, bizarre situation. You know what you should do? This is what you should do. You should make one of the renders. You should do a rendering. Just make your own rendering. So, like, supplement companies do this all the time. They never take photography. They just do a rendering, and the consumers are super happy with it. All right. So going back to the top of the queue here. Thank you for the second sticker, in fact, from Sam. Going to Jeff's next question here. Does Amazon charge everyone the same price for keywords? They do not. Generally within 20%, though. The more relevant your product is and the more it converts, the lower cost your keyword will be for you. Now, within reason, right? So they're going to give you more impression share and a lower cost per click if you convert the consumer at a higher rate. Now, if all things are equal, you sell the same item, $20, and the consumer converts at 8% on both listings, going to be the same exact cost, most likely, on the bids. Good question. Don't think we ever had that one before. I guess there was a second part. We'll get to that. If my product has a poor conversion rate, will Amazon charge me more for keywords? Yes, they will. And so that's why you have to be relevant for what you're bidding on. Back in June of 2019, I saw a very big change to the algorithm where no longer could you just, like, spray and pray shotgun keyword approaches. Like, we're talking like 100-word campaign keywords. And by the way, I take coaching calls all the time, like 2 a day on average. And I'd say still to this day, I still see keyword campaigns not segmented enough, like where they're putting 100 keywords into one single campaign. And that's not a good strategy. You really need to separate things out, 15 to 30 keywords max, generally lower whenever possible, because if you don't, you're going to spend more money on 2 or 3 of the keywords, and other keywords are going to be cannibalized by those 2 or 3 keywords, which means they're not going to get the impressions. So it's very important. Ruben says, happy Friday. Hope you had a great week and all things are all right. A little under the weather today. How to respond to client meetings where the week was not finished with the KPIs we had just set. Just general advice. How do you generally deal with it? We have a really good community where other agencies or other Amazon consultants come in and ask questions. I actually had a coaching call today with the gentleman who runs an 8-client business, and I gave him all of my trade secrets. If you're an agency or an Amazon consultant listening to this, you are more than welcome to pay me money to get me to tell you exactly how I run my own company. I'm very happy to do this. Some advice I'll give away for free. So how do you respond to client meetings? What I would say is, hey, Mr. Client, Mrs. Client, I would prefer to move this meeting 2 or 3 days to give me a chance to finish some of these deliverables. How would Friday of next week sound? And just be honest, just be open and transparent, because anytime meeting fatigue is like the absolute worst. I get more employees quitting on me from meeting fatigue than almost anything else. When you're running from one meeting to the next, you have no time to actually collect yourself. And my super introverted specialists, they generally don't like being on meetings. It's a waste of time for almost everybody, including the client, generally speaking. The best kind of meeting is when there's a formal agenda. It's always the same. These are the 4 agenda items that we do with our own clients. Ruben, you're welcome to replicate this. What did the weekly report look like? Good, bad, and the ugly. What were the last 2 weeks of activities? Go through every deliverable. What is the plan to make the next 2 weeks of deliverables so we can grow their sales? And fourth and final, what do we need from the brand owner to make it happen faster? So I need images from you or something like that. So set up formal meeting cadences. I also recommend a meeting every 2 weeks. We used to do weekly, and it just taxes the system. There's not enough time to do everything you need to do and have a productive weekly meeting. So I recommend every other week meetings to accommodate that. Great question, Ruben. Let's go to Steve here. Hi, Steven. Happy Friday. No questions today. Just wanted to share with the audience that your Amazon knowledge is top notch. People are simply insane if they don't sub here for the value you give. Well, thank you for the endorsement, Steve. It makes me feel good. I think others feel the same way, which is why we do this. Let's go to our next question in queue coming in from Olan. Oh, actually, we did Olan's already. Because he subbed today. We any new members, we get them to the top of the queue to thank them for subscribing. Karen says, part 1, how much of an impact does A+ content have for launching a product? Massive impact. There's no way my mom box, the Age of Sage box, right? This one right here, this box that comes with all of this cool stuff inside, which you can't see very well because of that. So everything inside of here, we sold it for $50 a pop. I made $144K in 3 weeks. A+ content was the #1 way we succeeded. #1. Number 2 would definitely have been the $11,000 I spent on PPC. So if you don't, and now that I've opened the box, I can smell all the scented soaps. I think it was last week or the week before that, we talked about how listening to your customers can lead to additional business. So one of the things that I did was I added a new list of soaps, right? So these are now single scent soap options where you can buy charcoal, cool water, Dead Sea, eucalyptus, jasmine, all the way down the list. And we had 2 customers reach out one weekend and ask us, hey, can I get a single scent? I really like the eucalyptus, but I didn't like the other random soap that was in the box. And so we made this, customize that for them, and we're shipping it at FBA. And so I don't generally recommend launching lots of SKUs. It's not necessarily in your best interest generally, but sometimes when the consumer asks for things, you got to provide them. Anyways, so how important is A+ content? It is massive. We launch soaps and scents and stuff like this all the time. And without A+ content, we won't go live. We just simply will not go live. All right, so we got an ASIN listed out here. So let's look at the ASIN. Bravo 09 Henry 3 Queen Whiskey 364. And let's take a look at this. So selling 1 to 4 a day, annoyingly, I still have no reviews. Is no reviews the real culprit? Let's think about this. So I don't know what the culprit is on first 10-second pass. It's a well-optimized listing, but you definitely need A+ content. Karen, if you haven't bought a trademark, if that's the issue, nope, I don't see any brand stores. So Karen, please consider purchasing a trademark for me. If Amazon selling is going to be a serious thing for you, get a trademark for Regal Living from us today. Get your brand registry and A+ content by next week. You will see a big impact. It really affects your keyword rankings. So let's look at the BSR here. So yeah, you're kind of a soft launch for you right now is what I'm seeing. I think this product would be a good Vine review product, Karen. Apply for Vine. So here's a case example of why no A+ content really hurts. So remember how I always talk about how A+ content indexes, and 2 years ago I fought the community on this, but nowadays people trust me because I've done so much breaking SEO architectural work. Well, here's a case example. This product is at 478 keywords indexed. If there was A+ content, I predict that this will go to 1,200 keywords within 72 hours. So and that's assuming you put 500 words of copy in the A+ content, versus just simply having the product description like this. A+ content will signal to the robots that your product is serious. You're going to get more indexing. It's really, really important. Could having a single review on your product, Karen, be valuable? Absolutely. I definitely think it would help. The market data on this product is great, still very bullish, despite great data with the checks off my criteria. The sales have been subpar. So I don't know how long you've been live for, but that could be a component of this. But spend as much PPC as you can, get the A+ content up. K-Boss, hello from Ukraine. Thanks for joining us. I've been doing some advertising on Reddit. If you found out about this AMA on Reddit this past week. Will you leave a comment and just let me know? I want to know how effective my Reddit advertising is, because I'm trying to get people to show up and get to know us. We're doing heavy amounts of advertising. We've sent out postcards to people. We really want more brands to sign up with My Amazon Guy, and we've got a really great system to scale. So really hoping more people sign up. Any tips to get new release badges while launching, keeping it most of the time? New release badges only last for about 45 days. I had them on my incense, and it really, really helped me launch. It was really phenomenal. And then when the reviews started pouring in, once I had about 100 reviews, the badge left. I don't think it's directly tied to reviews. I think it's just like 45, 60 days, and then you're going to lose your new release. Jahil says, I have a keyword that has a $3 bid. After 2 weeks, the CPC is now at $1.42. ACOS at 45%, but is in the top 3 keywords in terms of sales. Can I still lower it to the CPC cost without messing up this keyword? $3 bid. Now the CPC is $1.42. ACOS 45. Yeah, I think it's safe to lower. I think that would be totally okay. Would I lower all the way down to $1.42? No, I would go down to like $2.50 and just wait another 7 days. If everything checks out, go down to 2. 7 days, $1.42. Just work it down and piecemeal, step it down there. ACOS target is 35%, by the way. Jahil, maybe what you need to do is turn on the up and down function. So whenever I launch a new campaign, I recommend fixed bids. But whenever I'm optimizing or I've had 20 sales, I'll generally switch it over to up and down. And for really troublesome campaigns, I'll switch to down only as a last ditch effort. Did I do a test buy, then file the counterfeit? I do all of the above. I file counterfeits the moment they show up. Sometimes they get taken down. Sometimes they don't. It's really hit or miss. There's no rhyme or reason for it in any shape or form. Highly unpredictable. And then I will do a test buy as well if it doesn't go down immediately. And then I'll just attack them from every which way I possibly can. One of my products is a bundle. Now it has no BSR. I think they can't decide the category on how to bring the BSR back and keep it. File a brand registry ticket, ask them to set the category. You also might need to do this through a template upload as well. Without a BSR, your product does not index as well. This is a critical thing. Very, very helpful. Okay. Yes, it needs to see how it roll. Going to the other member questions here. Been trying to go after variation violators for a while now. Some are crazy, obviously just manipulating the system. However, they get broken up, then the brand just puts them back together again. So Olin, document this as much as humanly possible. Take screenshots, links, timestamp the dates, build a case, and just make a giant case. Once you've gone through the system 2 or 3 times through the regular system, feel free to escalate it directly to me at podcast@myamazonguy.com. I have some friends over at Amazon that love getting escalated examples of black hat tactics. I can't promise anything other than to say that I will forward it on to the proper authorities over at Amazon, and I will do everything I can to help you take out black hat people, because it makes it hard for all of us. As a community, we really need to team up together. It's not me against you guys. It's not me against the other agencies. It's all of us literally against Amazon and sometimes black hat Chinese. Fred says, I've used them. Very good photos at a fair price. He's talking about the fair fast photography service. Use the link there that we posted. We also stream on Twitch. Nobody ever watches on Twitch, but I do stream there. You never know. But yes, use the link. I get a small, you pay for a Chipotle burrito for me, which is what I plan on having for lunch today. And by the way, when you become a member of the channel, if you're a member for 1 month, you're basically buying a Mexican Coke for me, which I appreciate. If you're a member for 2 months, you bought me a Chipotle burrito. And that goes a long way in my personal happiness. Okay. First or third party, Olin is asking Ravi, what do you know about SIOC with regard to Amazon? I actually have to Google this. I don't remember that acronym off the top of my head. So let's take a look at see what Google says. Google says package testing guide to SIOC packaging. How do you do it? What does this even stand for? Packaging for less waste. Is this the program? I think it is. Is this the one where like the frustration-free packaging? Program consists of packages to be designed, tested, and certify the quality of 1 of 3 tiers of e-commerce packaging. So frustration-free packaging. Okay, so it's separate Not the same as frustration-free packaging. It's SIOC or PFP. So what does the actual SIOC stand for? Curious. Ships in its own container. What does that mean? Form of a product packaging in which a product order can be shipped into the customer in its original packaging without any additional packaging required. Okay, very good. So in any case, this is technically an SEIOC right here. The box is good that it can ship that way. So why would this matter? I guess. What do I know about? So you saw me, you guys here. I learned this on the fly. I'm going to post this link in the chat because I thought it was a very helpful file that ShipBob put together here. And I just found it off Google on the fly here. But basically, my understanding, Ravi, would be that you're going to have access to a slight perk in the Amazon system where they'll display. There might be some price reduction shipping costs rates if you get certified for SIOC, but I don't know that. Obviously, I'm speculating. I would guess that would exist. So I would definitely check it out. What does the pricing structure look like when FBA items are sold by Amazon, or does Amazon just buy in bulk? So if you're selling the same item to one consumer 8 times, you're going to be charged 8 fulfillment fees. If that's the question you're asking, you would have to literally bundle it or put it in its own packaging or its own box simultaneously to ship it out. Does Amazon just buy in bulk? Sold by Amazon. So I think I misread the question. So sold by Amazon, this is going to be Vendor Central first party, not third party through Seller Central. So just to demonstrate that, let's go look at a random product. So this, whatever's on my screen here is what we're going to go with. And here, I happen to find a Vendor Central product, first click, just accidentally. Ships from Amazon.com. You can see that right there. Sold by Amazon.com. This is a first party Vendor Central product versus one of the products that I sell, Amazon.com/Age of Sage. We'll look at my mom box since I've been talking about that today. And here you can see sold by Momster. And I also have a secondary fulfillment method that we keep just in case FBA ever goes down, which you can see there. That's totally kosher, white hat tactic, kosher tactic there. But Vendor Central, yes, they buy in bulk. They're buying in wholesale from you. So Amazon, one of the cool, actually, let me go over to my testimonials page because I have a client that's on Vendor Central and they got this gigantic PO from Amazon. We took them from, and my testimonial page takes so freaking long to load because we have so many videos on it. So let's see where we put this particular one. Sorry for the eyes. Oh, there's so many of them. I need to clean this up. All right. So here's the testimonial from a Vendor Central client from the last 2 weeks. We took them from $300K a week in POs to $1.6 million. You can bet that client happily pays our invoices. So yes, they buy in bulk, and sometimes they buy a lot of bulk, as you can see from that. Good question. It took me a second to understand it. Jahil says, in the launch phase, when setting up an exact and broad, should exact be more or lower volume with keywords 1 to 3? Be the big volume keywords have a broad mixture of everything, top 15 to 20. It's going to be a broad mixture of everything, especially on launch. You just simply don't know what's going to work the best. So the more keywords you test and segment out, the better. Highly recommend it. Let's see. Karen, thank you for your super sticker. I think I got your questions already. How would Amazon pack a 4x3 foot piece of plywood, example product, off a pallet for FBA, medium, oversized, sized tier? So how would they pack it? Do you mean like they're selling like a furniture item that literally requires to be shipped LTL, if that's your question, Charlie? So when you ship into Amazon, I've shipped many pallets myself, and I'm trying to grasp the question here to really truly understand it. But when I ship into Amazon, you're going to saran wrap it. Don't go over the pallet by more than an inch on any side. And Amazon will follow the same protocol if they're shipping a pallet out of Amazon. Or shipping off a product for FBA medium size over tiers. Charlie, I think I need a little bit more context to give you the value you're looking for today. Feel free to add some additional context. Jahil says, I have a keyword that is consistently getting more impressions and clicks, and the CPC is even lowering week to week, but no sales. I'm lost on the reasonings for this keyword not converting. Gets thousands of impressions. Okay, so it's getting the clicks, it's getting the impressions, but not the sales. So it's a conversion problem. It's not a problem with the keyword. It's not a problem with the traffic. It's not a problem with the ad setup. It's a conversion problem. To fix a conversion problem, you need to make sure the product is legitimate for the relevancy of that keyword. Jaquil, the first thing I would do is go type that keyword into Amazon search and compare yourself against everybody else. What are they doing? And if they are doing something very different than you and they're the ones converting, you're in the wrong. If you are converting and everybody else isn't converting, then you're in the right. Or maybe everybody's converting and everybody's in the right, right? Like, so those are the scenarios to think through. Main image, generally the number one way to improve conversion rate or click through. Number two, though, would be to adjust the secondary images. Secondary images have a really high velocity impact. People are looking at things on their mobile phone when they go on Amazon. So secondary images are how people shop. They don't look at the bullet points. Let's go to the next one here. Jeff asks, can't update the title. When I try to, the dreaded red box shows up, says there's conflict with ASIN, but I can't find the ASIN anywhere. I created the original listing. What gives? So Jeff, you have a data lock on your system. You want to do a full template upload. It should fix this. If it doesn't, do a brand registry ticket. Your problem should be an easy problem to solve. This is a run-of-the-mill catalog troubleshooting question. Any trouble with any of this, Jeff, feel free to just do a simple coaching call with Ali or Saban. They could knock this out for you very, very rapidly. Same day appointments available. You can see Ali, you can book with him. Well, I guess not available today, but you can book with him on Monday and get that knocked out for you. Samsung says, hi, Steve, just want to let you know, everyone, that mag teat is not perfect. Not sure what you mean by that, but as close to perfect as anyone will ever get. You guys are just awesome. Well, Samsung, I appreciate that. Yeah, we never claim to be perfect. We have kind of a mentality of get as many fish over the dam as possible. And that mentality allows us to grow sales and give peace of mind that your Amazon account is taken care of, so you can just focus on your business. So Samsung, thank you for that. That's kind words for you. And ASIN, Karen says, I launched, unfortunately got a 1-star review, but when I got 2 5-star reviews, the second 5-star review came yesterday, making my product a 3.5 out of 5. But today I see Amazon change it to a 3.5. Karen, I have been following your journey every week as your review problem continues to fester. And this is interesting. They might be weighting it back and forth. The good news is I suspect that your problem is temporary. And as you generate more reviews, this is going to be, history, if you will. Why would it go down from 3.5 down to 3? They do some weighting on recency. And I know your first review was a 1-star, and then you had a couple of, 5 stars come in. There could be a verification, or maybe one of the 5 stars is not being weighted as much as the other. They don't release the actual algorithm for product review generation, but through observation, that's what we've been able to ascertain. But to be clear, I don't actually know specifically why it would go from 3.5 down to 3 one day over. It could be there's another review that's coming in and just doesn't show up yet. There could be other factors. Very small test amount of information. Question for FBM: does putting yourself on vacation for 2 weeks have any negative effects, just like going out of stock? Will Amazon punish me? Yes, there is some. Samsung qualified mag team. Yeah, that makes more sense now with Samsung's question. Will Amazon penalize you? Yes, it's just like going out of stock. Now, if you have FBA backups and you're just turning on off FBM, I don't think there's any problems here. Nico has the same question as Sam about Blink products. Lifestyle photos help. Also use the product packaging. You can put anything in it, including a lifestyle uses, can be used in the main image. I totally endorse that comment. Very, very smart answer there. Awesome. Thanks for that. At my Amazon guy, you're very welcome. Ships in its own container. Yep, we learned that one on the fly together. Had never heard of that one. Thank you for the advice. Another coaching call. You're very welcome. Amazon says you're not eligible to access Project Zero. Make sure you have an acceptance rate of at least 90% for reports of potential infringements to report a violation in the last 6 months. So Project Zero, not necessarily the most important program. I think getting the infringements to go through generally work out pretty well for me, Barack. But Project Zero is really good if you have massive counterfeiting and hijackers and you're just filing these reports like all day, every day. My acceptance rate is 100%, though, he says. Total of 5 complaints. How many complaints should be accepted to register Project Zero program? Probably like 100, to be honest. I don't actually know the answer to this question, but I suspect that you don't have need for this until you have 100. If you've had 100% acceptance rate on 5 complaints, you don't even need the program, basically. Just keep filing them. Ravi says, do you have a label local distributor address in all items when you're selling in the U.S.? Do you have to label local distributor address in all items you're selling in the U.S.? If you're selling a medical, topical, or consumable item, you're going to need an address of some kind. If you're just an Amazon reseller and there's a manufacturer or something of those lines, you could be anywhere in the world, no problem. For U.S. legal purposes, it is beneficial to have an LLC in the USA, but not necessarily mandatory. Frostic says, how do I check CPC without the product? Should I just list the product without having it first? Yes, that's probably what I would do. I would just load all the data and then set the launch date. Make sure it's not live or clickable by anybody. It's a very good strategy to do this. Make sure it checks into FBA, A+ contents live, all the image stack, everything good to go before you click that live button. But in terms of checking the CPC, you could add the keywords to another random product that you have to kind of test it out. There are some tools that will give you CPC estimates as well, though I never use them. I generally don't have a need for that kind of information. Charlie says, just trying to figure out if Amazon would have to find an individual box for 4x3 foot units to ship. As long as my product meets the tier requirements, Amazon is responsible for boxing each. Well, Charlie, I have a story to tell you. This is one I've told a few times on my channel, but it's a good one. I'm a supposed Amazon expert, and I thought the same thing you did, Charlie. And I sent in all of my hot sauces here, and I sent 1,000 of these units, and I paid Amazon to do the prep work. They put bubble wrap on it, and then they freaking shipped it out in padded envelopes. So if you would like to trust Amazon that they're going to responsibly box your stuff, let me tell you, they won't. They will not. So I highly recommend that you consider that with anything you ship into Amazon. Pre-box it yourself. Amazon is not trustworthy when it comes to logistics. I had hundreds of complaints, hundreds of pictures of hot sauce all over the place because people got it in a padded envelope from Amazon. They are not trustworthy. Currently leading the switch of moving some of our products from Vendor Central to Seller Central. God bless you, Kara. That is a lot of work. Very, very difficult. First time selling on Seller for them. The order processing team is worried in terms of the products being spread out through different Amazon fulfillment centers, warehouses, because it would require multiple, and I think she means virtual warehouses in Microsoft Nav, an enterprise resource planning software they use to keep track of purchases and remain in compliance, where an order processor will, I think, Karen, you got the new record for longest question, by the way, need to manually account for each to its respective location, so it'd be very tedious for them. Is there a way to limit the amount of FC transfers that a product gets dispersed to? Thank you very much for the super sticker as well. The answer to your question is no. There is no way to limit to the distribution centers. Karen, if I were you, have the department sum total the warehouses as one single FBA warehouse. They won't like that answer, but it's the right one. You cannot limit it. You gotta, the difference between being a Vendor Central business versus being a Seller Central business is the difference between running a Costco on the left and a Kroger on the right. When you're Costco, it's nice, neat pallets, and it's nice and clean and super and easy. When you're a Kroger, it's clean up on aisle 7 every day. You cannot get Amazon to bend to your will. Don't do it. Can't do it. So what you're going to do, Karen, is just have the company set up one nav, one virtual warehouse, sum total them all together. Just check the total quantity available, not where they're located. Sorry, you don't like that answer. They will not like that answer. You'll send a video of this clip to them, and they're gonna hear it from me directly. You will not like this answer, but it is the only answer that will solve your problem. I promise you. My money's quite tied up. I don't know what to do between getting brand registry. We have two Karens here. We got Karen with an E, Karen with an A. My money is quite tied up. I don't know what to do between getting brand registry via Mag now or keep money for inventory order reorder. What do you think? My product launches have been underwhelming. Karen, I think a trademark is inevitable of a purchase if you want to be a serious Amazon seller. So if you're thinking about reordering, then you have to have the trademark. The reason you had an underwhelming launch is because you didn't have the trademark as a strong component to having the A+ content. I'm obviously biased to try and tell you to buy my service, right? So take that with a grain of salt. But I'm telling you, everybody who ever sells on Amazon seriously has a trademark. It's fundamental. There is no getting around it. Go get the trademark. It's going to be a long-term thing. And anybody else who's thinking about launching a second brand, hopefully you choose my Amazon guy to file your trademarks. We'd love to help you out. We've done this more than 650 times. We are trademark experts. We do use a lawyer, and it's freaking fast. Fastest on the web. We got a new member coming in from Mama. Thanks for being a member today. Really appreciate it. Feel free to re-ask your question, and I'll prioritize it because we're definitely not getting to all the future member questions today, unfortunately. All right, so I have cleared the queue of member questions, and I'm now going to look for some good future members and all of their questions. So let's go to Jeremy here, or Samsung. Some of my ASINs lost their BSR today. What caused it? Does it self-correct? Does not self-correct. Your category got changed, Samsung, or it got deleted. Do a template file, upload brand registry tickets. Highly recommend it. If I get brand registry admin access to a secondary account I have, will this cause an account link, potentially suspension? Jeremy, multiple accounts is not a violation anymore. As long as you are not selling the same products on both accounts and you have separate tax, credit card, and banking information, there is zero risk here. What I recommend you do, though, Jeremy, is never, ever, under any condition, like Steve Carell, never, ever, ever, ever soundbite, play that now, ever put the admin address on two accounts. Ever do that. Never do that. Ever, ever, ever. Steve Carell, finish soundbite. If you do, you will get an account suspension. But if you have a secondary email address that's on both accounts, that's fine. But never, ever same admin on any other Amazon property. That is the worst thing you could possibly do. Are Amazon reviews allowed because of the belong to Amazon? I'm wanting to export Amazon reviews and load to Walmart via the upload tool you shared. So we actually failed to do this successfully. I did put some videos out on how to do it. I gave the right advice on how to do it, but it didn't work. And I don't know why. We're not really focused on Walmart these days. We're more of an Amazon shop. So I stopped trying. It was just a lot of work to try and figure it out. But in theory, what you could do is you could export the Amazon reviews, load them to your website, export them out of the website, load them to Walmart. That's what we were trying to pull off. You can't actually do it direct over, unfortunately. Will Amazon flag if you launch with a high velocity of reviews coming compared to the sales velocity? Yes, they will. Can you use your network without their TOS for launching? This is going to be a problem for you, Nick, unfortunately. Amazon's very clever with these. If you do it more than 3 times, they can't catch you. I've had many coaching calls where they've only had 4 friends purchase and they got flagged. They will lock the reviews, becomes a problem. Coming off LinkedIn, Muhammad says, Jihil Pinner, answer to your question. Maybe getting Halo sales. Look upon conversion of other variations of the same keyword. Muhammad, thanks for the value add. Appreciate it. On the same parent, he clarifies. Let's go to Yarrow. My ASIN has a 50% conversion rate, 30% ACOS, 30 sales a day, 30 USD a day. What do we do? Raise budget, raise bids, more campaigns, your suggestions. Yes, all of the above. If you have a 50% conversion rate, you are underspending ads by a lot, like a freaking ton, like thousands and thousands of dollars. Anybody with a 20% conversion rate or better, you are underspending on ads. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Can't edit my bullet points or description. Try to full update. Flat file. Seller support says catalog authorization. I'm not brand registered. Only images can change. Appreciate your help. Flat file template upload is the only thing you can do. And why are you guys subscribed to my channel, but you're not purchasing a trademark? Like, why? You're not a serious Amazon seller until you have brand registry. Like, I understand if you're only making like 10 grand a year on Amazon, but like, seriously, a trademark is fundamental to your success. Please purchase a trademark from my Amazon guy. Let us help you. The amount of work, the hijacking alone is a reason. Like I helped one of my biggest longstanding clients, also a local friend of me, was called Easy Whelp. And they had hijackers galore coming out of China. The moment we got them brand registered, poof, Problems went away. They had hijackers stealing their images, stealing their listings, and the full 9 yards. You have to have brand registry. Super important. What's the best way to build a brand on and off of Amazon? Direct-to-consumer brands generally are not Amazon brands, and Amazon brands are generally not direct-to-consumer. Case in point, we had a company we worked with for 2 years called Casely. Very, very large, multi-million-dollar company out of Utah selling phone cases. Great company. We couldn't even come close to the Amazon sales for them that they were doing on their website because that product category, very, very much highly direct to consumer. So I don't think there is a strong crossover between the two. Anybody that's trying to sell their Amazon brands, we have a website called AmazonAggregators.com. If you're curious, they don't care if you have a Shopify account. They don't care. They really don't. They're buying Amazon only brands. It's totally fine. That's probably what I'll do. I was concerned if the customer doesn't receive it in the packaging. I can't easily package it like that because it comes in many different variations. Great tips back and forth with Sam today. I appreciated that, Nico, for your assist on that one. Let's go up to the top here. Michael says, hey, Steven, my product packaging is giftable and a key differentiator. Amazon has been sending my product out without the address label on the packaging itself. Kind of ruins the packaging. Yes. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your brown box and put it in the outside. So sorry, I did that backwards. Take your pretty box right here, and put it inside of a brown box and let Amazon ship the brown box. So when they open up the packaging, they've got the white box. So that's the strat. The only way you can do that, unfortunately, as we talked about with the hot sauce today, you cannot force Amazon to ship your stuff in boxes, unfortunately. How can I merge my reviews to other marketplaces? Use the same UPC code. That's the only way. Some categories allow main images not to be on white background. Search for lamps, for example. Just an idea. Let's keep going for other future member questions. Mohammed says, what is your take on expanding already established brands from the EU to US? Generally a great idea. Huge sum of reviews. Use the same UPCs. Go aggressive with PPC initially to get some data in hand. Go moderate with speed. Go totally defensive in terms of not spending crazy on Amazon PPC. If the brand works in the EU, it almost always works in the US. If it works in the US, it sometimes works in the EU, but not always. So very, very easy to go transfer back and forth. Great question. We've got another sticker coming in from Sam. Keep up the good work. Thanks for everything. You're very welcome. If you guys like today's podcast, please do express your gratitude. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Just add a comment and said, Steven, let me know how long you guys have been listening to the channel if you guys want. Just post in, hey, I'm a new subscriber, or say, hey, I've been listening for 2 years. We'd love to hear from you. How can I get an increase in FBA storage? And how can I merge my reviews on other marketplaces? Use the same UPC codes across marketplaces. That's the only way to get them to merge reviews. And increasing FBA storage, you have to increase your IPI rate and get a churn of inventory selling out every 2 months. Hi, I want to know why Amazon removes my Amazon's Choice badge from the product while there is no change happened in its sales and rating. You have no control over this. This is an automated badge. Not that impactful, not something to worry about either. I'd say 1 out of every 4 keywords is generally getting an Amazon badge. That's how unhelpful they are. No response on FBA partner carrier loss inventory reimbursement since December 28th. Best thing to do, call support daily. Justin, consider signing up for My Refund Guy. This is a service that we offer as an add-on. First $500 are on us. We'll do all of that clawback work for you so you don't have to worry about it. Go to myrefundguy.com. In terms of answering your question, keep filing tickets and requesting reimbursement. Give the seller shipment ID and don't back down. Can you make your services be charged like lawyer fees on retainer where you're charged per hour email at the end of the month? Say $200 an hour. Someone gives you a list of tasks. You build them. We have 200 brands. We literally don't have time to do billing like that, Lucas. But one of the things you can do is just hire us for a la carte. So a la carte coaching would be the service offering for you. You can get same-day appointments. Go to myamazon.com, click on book a coaching call, and you can get all the things you need. Same-day appointments available. You can even schedule routine, weekly, monthly, whatever you want. This is the model that I built to help people like you, Lucas, because you're not ready for full service yet, but you need some assistance. So we don't have a model for emails. However, I did ask Stephen Pope a written question for $50. You are welcome to test that to see if that does what you need. Thank you for your support there. Kind of scrolling through here. Alex says, how do we get a listing back after we used a word Lego, Velcro, or something similar and got our listing removed due to trademark infringement? The word is still there after editing the listing. You have to do a template upload, Alex, to clear this. I actually did have a brand that sold Lego compatible tables. It was called Nilo Toys, and we helped them more than 4x their sales when we worked with them. And Lego compatible trademark infringements were nonstop. Even though the listings look great, even though we follow all the rules, it's a problem. So what you do is you do a template file upload, then file for reinstatement nonstop until it goes through. Best thing you can do on any of that. Patrick says, thank you, Steve. Great point. You're very welcome. Karen says, the quality control team says that in order to maintain full organic traceability of products, we'll need to ensure the Amazon's FCs will show up how many in lot numbers there are to remain in compliance. Karen, this is dead on arrival and will not work. Sorry. Really, really sorry. It's not going to work. Do they provide this on a daily inventory report? I'm not seeing it as an option. Do they show you the inventory based on where it's stored? Yes. Do they give you the lot numbers based on the warehouse? Nope. Nor will they ever. So Lucas says, I love Fridays because I get to learn from Steve. You are so welcome. That is our show today. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. Hit that like button. Write a question if you're watching this on the replay. I do come back and answer those as well every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And if you're joining us from Reddit because you saw my ad, please write a comment. I want to hear from you too. Really fantastic seeing everybody here every Friday. Super excited. We have a bunch of other videos, 900 videos of content where we talk about every possible thing on Amazon. Use My Amazon Guy in your Google search bar whenever you're searching for an Amazon problem. Hit brand registry plus My Amazon Guy. Hit advertising plus My Amazon Guy. We have all kinds of content on all of these topics. My pleasure to serve the community and answer your questions every Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you next week. Thanks so much.